Hi, everyone. Happy Monday to you all. Welcome back. I hope that you all had an amazing weekend. Thank you for joining us on our live. Today, we have some special announcements and great things that are happening. First and foremost, we updated our website for serenitynailpolish.com. So I know a lot of you are reaching out to inquire about our new amazing colors, which are all named after affirmations, by the way. And you can head over to our website, serenitynailpolish.com, to make your purchase today. We will be filling orders all week. So get those spring colors in, get the summer colors in, and make yourself feel good. It's that time of year, it's that time of season. So definitely great things happening there. I also want to shout out Serenity, who did an amazing job at the career day that we had at our school last week. Be sure to look out for that post. She spoke so eloquently. And we did a career day where we spoke to young people about the field of entrepreneurship, grades 5 to 8th grade. And it was amazing time. It was amazing time to see them engage in the content and to know that there are other avenues that they can take to when it comes to their future. So that was amazing as well. Also, in July, we will be at a Tiara event where Serenity will be honored for the Young Entrepreneurship Award. And shout out to New York City It Girl. Follow them. Serenity, due to her painting, will be a part of the art walk in Southside Jamaica, Queens, which is huge for this community. The artwork out here is underrepresented compared to other boroughs in New York City. So it's going to be a great time. More details to come about that. And we have a lot of amazing events coming up. So make sure that you subscribe, that you sign up for for our newsletter, so you know all of the happenings that are coming up. Before I introduce a special guest that I have for you all, I know that you all are excited to see who I have today. I want to leave you with a quick business tip. This business tip, write it down, get your pens and papers ready. It's called Validate Your Idea Early. If you heard what I just said, go ahead and put it in the chat. Validate your idea early. Here's a tip that I learned. Using quick, low cost experiments like surveys, landing pages, and one on one interviews help to test the demand and the need for your product. Oftentimes, we go into business with such a great idea, or what may seem like a great idea to us, but we don't actually fully test it out in terms of doing those one on one interviews, doing those study and focus groups, and testing the demand and need for it. So, validate your idea early. Okay? Now, without further ado, and I see people joining the live. Thank you so much for joining in. Shout out to you guys. I want you all to meet Romika Temple. Romika Temple is an educator, beautypreneur, and wellness advocate dedicated to helping women and youth rise with purpose and power. Romika is a visionary behind so many programs as she merges beauty, wellness, and education to create transformational spaces for healing, growth, and self expression. Romika, it is a pleasure to have you on the live. Please tell the people who you are, what you do, and introduce yourself and your business.
Yes. Hi. Can you hear me out there?
Yes,
Okay.
they can.
Because it looked like I was frozen for a minute. Yes, I am so excited to be on this webinar today. I am honored that you have chosen me. I am Romika Latasha Temple. I am a
Yes.
motivational coach. I am Amazon bestseller author, and I am an author. I'm proud to say that I'm an author 5 times
Woo!
as of this year. Just that's just mind blowing within itself.
Yes,
I,
congratulations.
thank you. I was really working in 2024. Didn't realize how hard I was working. But yes, I am an entrepreneur. I am the founder of Mommy's Tea Time brand, which we
Yes.
focus on moms, helping them transform their minds, empower them, and
Hmm.
affirm their dreams. And that basically just help them get started in whatever their dreams are in life, and let them know that they can balance life and their business. I'm also a cosmetologist by trade. Um,
Nice.
so I started a natural hair care product called O Sister Slade
Mm-hmm.
LLC, which is a natural care hair care product line that consists of edge control, growth oil, and shampoo and conditioner.
Nice.
And I am a wife. I am a mother of four beautiful children. They are in their teenage years. So, if you know about raising teenagers, I'm probably in the hardest part of my
I've
life.
heard. Can't wait. Can't wait.
I thought that it would be easier. I thought when they were babies it was harder, but
Mm-hmm.
I find out that it is harder now that they're in their teenage years. But I do love it. It's challenging. But I love being a mom. I love being an entrepreneur. And most of all, I love motivating and pushing people into their purpose.
That is amazing. That is so awesome. You do a lot and you do it well.
Thank
Shout out to
you.
you because I was also on your podcast. How long ago was that? Was that like 2 years ago now?
It was my first year, I believe, 2023. And
Wow.
I didn't forget to say I'm a podcast host. See, it's so much.
Because you do so much.
Yes, Mommy's Tea Time. We launched Let's Talk Motivation with Mommy's Tea Time podcast, and that was
Mhm.
in June 2023. And yes, you were one of my first guests to be on the show, and that was scary for me. And we'll talk
Yes.
about that later in the show. But yes, 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 yes. Thank you for
Yes,
saying
and
yes,
it,
because
it
I
was so
remember
awesome. I know we connected off of the simple fact that we are mothers and we, have a business and we're doing so many different things. So once again, thank you so much for being here. And I know
yeah,
you juggle life, right? As a motivational coach, like you said, a wife, a mother of four, a podcast host, an author, and a CEO. What daily habits or mindset shifts keep you grounded and focused among so many roles that you do?
honestly, grace, God's grace
Mm,
and structure.
that's
I
powerful.
start every day with prayer, and that's
Hmm.
real prayer,
Yeah.
affirmations, a few quiet moments, and probably a lot of quiet moments throughout the day,
Yep.
even if it's just 10 minutes,
Hmm.
to align myself, because some days can just get crazy.
Absolutely.
I remind myself that I'm not called to be perfect. And then one
Hmm.
time in my life, I thought that everything had to be perfect.
Yes.
And that got me nowhere. I got very overwhelmed
Hmm.
to the point where I couldn't even enjoy being in the present.
Mm,
So I've learned to practice, um, just just being, just
yes.
being in the moment and embracing everything, even if it's not going the way that I think it should go. Um, I also practice what I teach.
Hmm.
Small daily mindset shifts, like
Yeah.
speaking life over myself,
Hmm.
over my businesses. Um, and most importantly, I've learned to honor the seasons that I am in,
Mm,
because sometimes we have them high and low seasons.
yep.
Um, and some days I feel like I'm in CEO mode.
Hmm.
I got this. Everything is
Yes.
going smooth. And other days I'm simply just being mom.
Hmm.
Sometimes I won't even look at the business. I need to be mom right now. I have four
Right.
teenagers and they need me, and they all have their own issues or whatever that they're going through. And sometimes they just need me to just stop and be mom, right?
Right.
And it's not about just balance, it's about being intentional.
Hmm.
Also being a wife. Sometimes it's like, I gotta stop everything. I need a date. We need to just go eat. Like sometimes I tell my
Yeah.
husband, like, let's just get them something to eat. I need to go out. I need a minute. you know? So just
Yes.
being intentional with my life. And I wasn't always like that.
Hmm.
It was times where I felt like I was all over the place.
Right.
And as I started this answer, I started with grace because, yes, I had to give myself grace because I was so hard on myself. People be like, "Oh, you're such a good mom. You're doing this,
Hmm.
you're doing that," and I was really like tearing myself apart if the clothes didn't get cleaned that day or it didn't get folded that day. Like I was really being hard on myself. So really, I just give myself grace and be intentional.
I love that. I love that. And that's something that I spoke about on one of our lives too before, of the grace piece, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so many things that we want to get done. And we do tend to be hard on ourselves when all of the things on our checklist may not be checked off, right?
Hmm.
But giving that yourself that grace allows you to feel that peace. And I love the fact that you said honoring the season that you're in, because realistically, every season of our life looks completely different.
Yeah.
I always say that, like, the way my life is now, a year ago, I wouldn't have imagined it to be this way. And
Yeah.
so, definitely praying through the process, trusting God in the process, being intentional, and giving yourself grace, I think are all great tips that anybody can learn from. People that are aspiring to be entrepreneurs, people that are just listening in, like, these are all like life skills, right?
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
happen to all of us. What would
Yeah.
you say was a turning point that turned your passion into your full time entrepreneurial pursuit? And how did you know it was time to take that leap?
Well, it started in 2008. I was working full time in the mortgage industry. That was my background. That was my 9 to 5. And during that time, it was the mortgage crash. People were losing their jobs, their homes, or whatever. And I lost my job. But before that, I wanted to always open up my own salon. And sometimes God pushes you into that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I was laid off. And I had just bought a home, and my husband was like, "You know what? We don't have to look for a building. Let's just, you know, um, build a studio in your home." Back then, that
Right.
wasn't like really popular. It's popular now, the little studios and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
back then, I'm like, no one's going to want to come in my house to get their hair done. And he was like, "Look, we can do it. We'll pass out flyers. We'll put it at the bus stations, whatever." And we rode around the neighborhood, and
I love
literally
that.
within 6 months, I had clientele. Like I was doing sew-ins like crazy. I couldn't believe it. Um, how people wanted that one-on-one time,
Mm-hmm.
just not sitting in the salon for hours. You get your time and that's your time and you're out
Yes.
in about an hour and a half. So I did that. And as I was doing that, I started having my family. Now, I wasn't really big on manifestation, not really knowing what manifestation was, but I really manifest this being home and raising my kids. Because working 9 to 5, I saw how people had kids and they would be so stressed out if they had to take off for their kids. And I remember saying, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be like that. I want to be home
Yeah.
with my kids. So I started doing hair out of my house and having my kids. I had my kids back to back. My first two children are 10.5 months apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got married after I had my second son. Um, and then right after I got married, I got pregnant again with my daughter and my son. And I literally was pregnant 5 years straight. I took a break just to get married. And then
Right. That there is that extra time that they don't tell you about.
so it got a bit much for me. So doing hair and having the kids or whatever, I kind of like put that to the side. And I began to be strictly mommy mode. Wanted to live this perfect life, right? Um, um, After facing, abandonment issues and self doubt, I just always told myself that I wanted to have like this perfect family and everything was perfect, no issues, whatever. So I really just poured into that and just being a wife. Well, guess what? After a while, that came very overwhelming because I lost who Ramika was because I became mom and wife, and that was just it.
Hmm.
You know, it was baby, Pampers, bottles. It was just nonstop around the clock. And I kind
Right.
of lost myself in that. And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur and had that entrepreneurial spirit. And my husband was the breadwinner, of course, so he was always out the house working or whatever. So I felt like I needed to help him, even though he said I was helping him by just taking care of the
Yeah.
kids in the house. But I just felt like I needed to do more. It was more for me than just being a mom and and being
Hmm.
wife. I had kind of lost who Ramika was. um so I started researching different businesses or whatever, stay at home, work from home moms, just to gain extra money or whatever. And I got
Right.
into multi-level marketing. And I started with a company called TLC. It was weight loss tea. And I wanted to come
Hmm.
up with a name to call my business, and it was Mommy's Tea Time. Not knowing what Mommy's Tea Time was going to be about, but I wanted to offer something for moms to stay at home to make some extra money.
Right.
And just feel like, they're out there and just making a little bit of money on the side and feel like they're a part of society. And Mommy's Tea Time turned into um, a motivation journal in
Hmm.
2016. Let's talk motivation with Mommy's Tea Time. 30 days of affirmations to create boss moms. And
Can
that
you hold
was,
it more to the screen?
can you see?
Yeah, let's get in there so the people can see
Yeah.
what we're
So
working with.
it's 30 days of just affirmations and scriptures to go along with the
Hmm.
affirmations. And that was just to encourage moms, because some days we just get just so discouraged. And these
Yeah.
affirmations and scriptures just give you a little push to just keep going. And it helped me. It helped me to push and
Yes.
keep going, and not to be so hard on myself and motivate myself. And if I didn't have everything all at once just to get started. So basically that is what the book was about, is to motivate moms to keep going.
I
And
love
then
that.
yeah, and then 2017, I started when Facebook Live was a thing. And I said, I'm going to go on live and I'm going to interview other mothers who are entrepreneurs, just to speak life unto other women, to
Hmm.
push them into their purpose. And I literally did that probably for 2 months. And I just like, oh no, I can't do this. Because trying to go live with the babies, the kids, they want to start making noise as soon as I go on live, right?
I
And
know.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And I'm getting frustrated. And I'm like, Lord, you said do this, and I'm doing this. And, this is a way to promote my book or whatever. And I just put it down. I literally put it down until 2023 when I started the podcast. Let's talk motivation with Mommy's Tea Time. I put it down.
Wow.
And I tell that story because even though we put our dreams and we put some things to the side and we stop, when God
Hmm.
gives you something, He doesn't let you put it down for too long. And
That's true.
it was already pulling on me to do this because how much I I I care for moms, I didn't have my biological mom growing up, but I saw the struggles of my mom that raised me, and I
Hmm.
just have a special heart for moms, right? The struggle, right, and the resilience. So
Hmm.
me going through being a stay-at-home mom for 13 years, I was like, look, I want to help other moms,
Hmm.
find their passion, find their dreams, right? Um, and I wanted to get back into cosmetology, but I knew I didn't have the time to stand behind the chair, right? So I did my girls' hair. They was always juicy ponytails and pretty barrettes and stuff. And that was the time where we had binding time um, with each other and talking about how beautiful they
Hmm.
are, right? and just just talking to them how beautiful they are, and they were the ones that said, "Mom, why don't you make your own product?" Just out of nowhere.
I
Just
love
out of
that.
nowhere. And I tell these two stories because those were my
Hmm.
leaps. God pushes you into things. Sometimes he'll use your kids. He'll use anything to get you to your purpose. So I took the leap with Old Sister Slade. I started off with one product. Um, and I just strategized, and it made me stay, even though when sometimes I had to put it down or put it aside,
Hmm.
or focus on my babies. I still had that passion, was still there in my heart. So those were the two things, God pushing me to leap, and my two girls, and just having faith, and just staying there, and just trusting God. And I mean, that's basically it.
This all this information, honestly, like people are on live, and we will be replaying the recaps, but I'm telling you, stories are powerful. And there is another mom at home that is a stay at home mom. I know I have family members that are stay at home moms as well. And I'm sure when they see this live, they are going to be in awe, because it can be done. It's not easy, but it can definitely be done. And I love the fact that I always talk about having people in your corner, right? And having a team behind you, and to hear how your husband rallied behind you and said, let's go put these flyers out, and you could do this.
Mhm.
Like, all of those things matter. And you are
Yeah,
actually, it's funny, we had a guest last week, Aisha from Sisters in Business. You should follow her as well. Very powerful
okay.
lady as well. She was talking about the same thing. She said, when I started my business, it was very grassroots, boots on the ground. Like, she was literally like boots on the
Mhm.
ground, putting it out there. And nowadays, I feel like we have moved away from that, but that is also a strategy that it still works, right? It's still
Yeah,
relevant, um, and it's something that it can be done. Um, and I love the fact that you said that you started the Mommy Time Tea podcast to motivate other moms and things like that. How do you
yeah.
select the themes that resonate with busy moms? And what's one episode that had a surprising impact on the community? And don't name my
Okay.
episode. You can if you want
You
to.
know, you know what? I'm trying to. Oh gosh. Okay, I'll say all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was mind blowing for me that
Mm-hmm.
because I was being obedient to what God had told me to do this podcast, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I can't do this podcast. You think you have to have the mic, the whole production or whatever. And God really had to tell me, like, you have everything you need. You have
Right.
your phone, right? You have your passion. Your passion is already there. Um for moms and entrepreneurs, right? Um
Mm-hmm.
and just go ahead and do it. So I'm like, well, who's going to be a guest on my podcast, right? Because I didn't put this down for a couple of years. Who's going to, come on the show? And I really, really prayed and really searched online,
Mm-hmm.
um, just asking God who to reach out to. Now, an entrepreneur in business will show you who you are, right? It'll
Yeah.
show you that you can be prideful, not one to ask for help, right? So I had to put pride aside, right? And really ask and not be scared of the no, you know? If someone will
Mm-hmm.
say, no, I can't be on your show. And I am gonna say your episode because I remember when I said to you, thank you so much for being on the show. I saw that you had so many followers or whatever." And I'm like, she's not going to want to be on my show. She's, doing really good in her business. Some people, when they're like up there in their business, they don't come
Yeah,
down to
it's
to
true.
the little ones.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to say no. And I just took that leap and just asked. And I was just so blown away about the yes, from everyone that I asked. I mean, everyone that I asked said yes, that I said
Yeah.
that I think was perfect for the show. Now, I don't have a favorite
Mm-hmm.
show because I found out that every person that I picked for the show was God sent, and it was really for this show and for our listeners.
Right, right.
Um, I didn't know it was going to really go deep into people's stories, because entrepreneurs, everyone has a story, and everyone has a story where they're being pushed into their purpose. We had women come on the show, domestic abuse, um,
Mm-hmm.
blended families. I mean, the list just goes on, and you'll be surprised of when you open your mouth and you tell your story, how many people you touch, and how many people are going through the same, may have been going through the same thing that you're going through. And I'm like, every time an episode is complete, I'm like, yes, God, yes, because someone out there needed to hear that. We think that when we're going through things, we think that we're the only ones that's going through what we're going through, right?
Yep, that's
And when
true.
you hear and when you hear Let's Talk Motivation with Mommy C Time, you're like, oh my God, there's someone out there that's going through the same thing that I'm going through. If Romika can do it,
Yep.
if Romika can overcome abandonment issues, if Romika can
Mm-hmm.
overcome perfection, if Romika can overcome depression, or whoever, domestic violence, anyone on this show, this, if they can come through that and still walk in their purpose, I can too. And then I just praise God, because if I've only just saved one person that just
Yeah,
got past their um their past and walk in their present, you know, and just
absolutely.
walk in their purpose, and kind of
Mm-hmm.
forgive and put those things behind us, and let them know that their past does not determine their future, and that they can just, one person just get started in whatever they want in life, whether it's write a book, start their business, start a podcast, whatever that they want to do in life. If my episode or me getting on a show or a webinar like this and just motivate them
Mm-hmm.
and just tell my story for them to get started, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And for a
That's
long
right.
time,
That's
and
right.
for
And we had someone comment, Coach Shine on Lakeisha, saying trust the process, right? Trust the
yes,
process. We don't necessarily know where the journey is gonna lead us, but like you said, praying through the process and trusting it is two
yes,
great things that go together. And I feel the same way
mm,
that you do. I share those same sentiments. Like I get on here every Monday. We go live weekly, 5 p.m. And the hope is that I say something, a guest say something, someone shares something in the chat that can reach someone and touch someone. And if it does, then I know that ultimately, like, I'm okay, like I did what I was supposed to do,
yes,
whether it's motivated someone or just shared a word of encouragement. And you, speaking of motivation, you do a lot of motivational content. And even when you speak so passionately about what it is that you do. So that's how I know that it's hard work for you, right?
yes,
There's hard work and then there's hard work. And you could tell that you do this place from
yes.
love and because you truly care. So how do you
Yeah.
balance creating that motivational content with sharing personal struggles authentically um, on your show?
I believe in sharing scars, not open wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Real recognize real. I only can be real, but also intentional,
Yeah.
right? My audience deserve my truth. It deserves anybody's truth that comes on my platform. But they
Hmm.
also deserve to know healing is possible, right? So I shared once how I processed, prayed, and pulled a lesson from every aspect of my life. And that
Hmm.
way, it's not just venting, it's empowering. So when I speak so much, with passion, because I really care about my community and who I'm speaking to.
Hmm.
A big part of that is how I plan my week. I set my goals, right? I map out my motivational content. I love Canva. I don't know if you love Canva, but I do.
Yes,
Um,
shout out to Cam, baby.
and most importantly, I pray and ask God for what He needs me to speak to my audience. It keeps me aligned
Mm.
so I'm not just creating to create, right? Sometimes we just like, oh my gosh, I gotta put something out, I gotta post something. But I needed to make sure that it resonates with my audience. Um, but pouring out is what purposeful and relevant, and it is truly needed to motivate and push whoever's listening out there to walk in a purpose. And T, I say mommy's tea time, but T is really transform, empower,
Hmm.
and affirm. That is my main
Yes.
thing that I talk about with mommy's tea time. And that's transforming your mindset, and I'm
Mm.
empowering so you can empower, and I'm affirming so you can affirm every
Hmm.
aspect of your life. And that's how I do it.
That is amazing. I
Yep.
love the fact that you made an acronym of affirmation. Shout out to Coach Shauna and Lakeisha saying grace is important. Absolutely.
Yes.
You made it an acronym so that even the words behind what you're doing has meaning, right?
Yes.
Um, and there's more than one ways to tell stories. You can tell it online like you do with mommy's tea time, but you're
Yes.
also Amazon bestseller status places you among influential voices, right? And you use these amazing storytelling techniques to make your message both heartfelt and transformative, which is, important. I want to talk really quickly because your hair is laid, okay? And we mentioned the old is slayed, okay? Please
Yes.
tell us how did you launch it? What hurdles or unexpected lessons did you face as a hair care brand owner? Might have to order some edge control for my edges, like
Yes.
some oil. Let us know. Talk to the people.
Well, Osis is Slade started, like I said, birth from my daughters, just having a conversation, doing hair with my daughters, right?
Mhm.
So I started researching. I had a couple of influencers that were starting natural hair care lines, that I really looked up to, and I admired them. And I wanted to find something, a product that worked for all textures of 4C hair. And in my house, it's 6 people in my house, and we have different textures of hair, of
Mhm.
4C hair. And I wanted to make a product that will work for all of our hair. Because people will have so many products in their home. They have this product here that works for this. But I wanted to have a line that could work for all types of hair, right? So my process
Mhm.
was researching manufacturers, ordering countless of samples, and trying it on my hair and on my daughter's hair, my husband's hair, my son's hair, right? And understanding the ingredients and what I wanted in my ingredients, quality. I didn't look at price because I didn't want cheap products. Um,
Right,
and
right.
I wanted to use local businesses, preferably black owned businesses if I could, in the manufacturing industry. and without cutting corners. Um, I just patience, patience, quality, and not rushing, because rushing creates setbacks, right?
Yeah.
And I rushed on our first product
Mm-hmm.
because I was so excited about the product, which was the Edge Slayer, which is our edge control. I was so excited about this product and how it worked. It lays your hair down. It doesn't turn your hair white. It has oils in it that helps it grow. So it's helping the hair grow. It's moisturizing and it's laying it down. So I got so excited about this product. I wanted to hurry up and get it out. Now I'd had this graphic designer that works with a lot of people in the industry, with
Mm-hmm.
their labels and all that stuff. And I didn't want to pay the money. I wanted to cut corners and do it the cheap way. And I made
Mm-hmm.
this corny logo, and I wish I had a picture I could I could show you. And I was proud of this logo, and I made it myself and printed it out, and I put it on the first set of products, the edge layer that I purchased. And when I got it, I was like, I'm not happy with this. It just wasn't giving the look that I needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the graphic designer that I was really wanted to use, right? So I go
Uh-huh.
to him and I'm like, this is my design, and I just probably needed to be revamped a little bit. I wanted to look more luxury. I'm giving him the whole spill how I look or whatever. And he tells me, like, he's straight up with me. He's like, "Well, what's the point of this? Why is the crown on top of this? Like, that makes it no sense." Like, he was really I had to I had to but I love honesty, and that's what really made me want to work with him. And he revamped my logo, and his thing is, I get you ready for the shelf. That's how I do. And he did my label, and he revamped the thing, and I fell in love not only with the product but with the packaging and the branding, because branding is important. So that's why I
Yes, it
said,
is.
don't rush, because it creates a setback. You lose money and you lose time, right? So that is how I got started with the edge slayer, and it went. I mean, it picked up. Around that time, edge slayer was the thing. I mean, edge control was the thing, and some people didn't want the white cast, and
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
promoting, and I'm like, this or whatever, and I kept pushing and then researching more products. I'm like, all right, I need a growth oil because we trying to grow our hair over here. Me and the girl trying to grow our hair. So
No,
I'm
seriously.
doing research for the oils or whatever, and wanting to know what to blend with what. And I say all this to say is that just because God give you something, it doesn't
Mhm.
happen all overnight. And someone in the
Yeah.
audience said it's a process, and it definitely is a
Mhm.
process. And if you want a good product, you have to do your research, and you have to really take your time and do the steps. So edge control did really good. I did the oils, then I sold the oils and the edge control together, and I did real good with that. And I said, well, you know what? I don't want them to use somebody else's shampoo and conditioner, so I'm gonna get my own shampoo and conditioner too, right? So I researched. Yeah, so I researched who I wanted to do, for my shampoo and conditioner, and like I did, we ordered samples, we tried it out, with the smells, and I had to make sure that it was natural and it focused on length retention. That's my
Right.
thing. Because Slade, when you say your hair is Slade, okay, it's short, but is it healthy? You know?
Right.
Is it healthy?
Mhm.
Because
That's very
that's
true.
the main thing. It can be short, but it ain't
Mhm.
healthy. In today's,
Correct.
our
Mhm.
cosmetologists and hairstylists has gotten away from healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants the beautiful hairstyles and stuff, but they're not even washing and conditioning the hair anymore. They're just like, show up, and let me just style
Yep.
your hair. So I created Osis and Slade to really just um teach my audience to embrace their natural hair, because our natural
Mm-hmm.
hair is beautiful if you have the right
Yes, it
products.
is.
If you have the right products that add moisture, because
Mm-hmm.
moisture is the key.
Yeah.
Moisture is the key. If we keep our hair moisturized, our hair will grow. And water. We've been trained to be scared of water. When water falls on our hair, it puffs up, right? But our hair
Right.
loves water. Our
Mm-hmm.
hair loves water. So yeah, so my passion, just from natural hair, taking care of hair and lymph retention, just brought me into Osis and Slade. As I talked earlier, about we have our ups and our downs in the
Mm-hmm.
business. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's going. When it's slow, and then all of a sudden I get a whole bunch of sales. I remember
Yeah.
when a company was going around where their edge control, something happened with their edge control, and it was a big deal, and they was like, cancel them out. And someone
Mm-hmm.
just got on live and just started talking about my edge control, just out of nowhere, just talking about the edge control, and compared it to the other edge control. And if you're looking for an edge control that's like that, try Osis and Slade Edge Slayer. And like all of a sudden, like I wake up and I have like all these orders, and I'm like, where's all these orders coming from? And it was because of one video. So you just never know.
Yeah.
Don't stop, keep going,
Mm-hmm.
even when you have those seasons where they may be low, and you need to revamp your business, as far as marketing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep going. Don't give up. I love the industry. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going until I get to where I
I
need
know
to
that's
be.
right.
Yes, but no,
And
to
I
to
need to.
answer your
I have
question
to order
is
some edge control. Definitely.
yes, I
I'm
love.
a teacher as well, so my girls, they like, sit down, Miss Phoenix. We trying to, do your edges. In middle school, it's all about who has the
But
most
we
slayed
need
edges.
healthy edges.
Okay.
Yeah, but we need healthy
Yes.
edges, right? We don't
Because
want to
it's
slick
true what
them
you're
down
saying
and then
is
they
true.
be, oh,
Sometimes certain products you use does leave that residue, caked up layer on the hair. Your
yeah.
Highness Paris said tea. She can't wait for that tea time. Okay.
Yes.
Looking ahead, what's your next big vision for Old Sister Slade or Mommy's Tea Time? Any new ventures or programs or expansions on the horizon for you all?
Yes. 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 Speaking of, I'll start with Mommy's Tea Time.
Okay.
Mommy's Tea Time, because I had a death in my family, Mommy's Tea Time,
My
network,
condolences.
tea party, thank you.
Hmm.
We have a networking event every year, with mompreneurs, or mothers who are looking to start a business, and you just come together, have some tea, and we get motivated, we transform, we empower, and when you leave, we want you to start a business, right? So it was supposed to be July 21st, and I postponed it to August 23rd. And
Ooh,
this year, yeah, and this year we're doing a brunch, and we had three phenomenal speakers. And what we do, we get dressed up in our fascinators and our bright colors. This year
mm,
is going to be outside on a patio in front of the lake. And that I am proud. This is my third year doing it.
love
I
that.
remember I remember my first year I was so scared, like who's gonna come? So we're expecting 30 women. And we still have some tickets that are available, and that is in the Sicklerville area of New Jersey. It's
Okay.
going to be at Valori's Lakeside, which is a phenomenal restaurant, and they have beautiful views outside. So that's what I'm working with Mommy's Tea Time. Also, in the future, we're going to be doing live shows. That's my dream. Live talk show, a Let's Talk Motivation with Mommy's Tea Time, and
Okay.
retreats, because we need to get
Yes, we need the
away.
retreats.
Yes.
Sign me up.
Yes, retreats. Yes. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing with Mommy's Tea Time. And for Osis is Slade, I want to get more into vending and getting myself out there, getting the product out there, because I know I have a good product. I just need people to know that the product, it's there. So that's the future of Osis is Slade, and to open up a natural hair care salon that just focus on wash and curl and length retention using Osis Slate products. And it will be a membership type of salon. So you will pay
Mm.
monthly. You will pay monthly, and that's you come every 2 weeks, or you come once a month, and I'll take care of your hair, and we document your length retention. So that is the future
Okay.
of Old Sister Slade. And for author, I think this will be my last book that I write. And it's the book about my memoir. It's how I overcome abandonment issues. It's almost done. It's being edited. And it is called Birth Out of Abandonment, and it's breaking the
Mm.
change. And it's basically me having a conversation with my younger self from the age of
Mm.
3 all the way up until now, and just freeing myself.
Wow.
And as I have a conversation with myself, I am freeing myself in every aspect of my life up until now. So it tells my story of how I overcome abandonment issues, and I'm proud of this book. It's been in the works for since 2017. I think it was the hardest thing.
That's
Um,
okay.
that's the hardest thing that I had to write, because you had to relive some things.
Mm.
But I won't leave here without saying what pushed me even to even finish my book is these two books here. We don't look like what we've been through. If you could see that, I had joined a community of women, and we wrote a book. It's seven other women, and it allowed me to push me to talk a little bit about my story, because for a long it I was scared to talk about it, worrying about
Yeah.
hurting people's feelings, what they were going to say. So this became a bestseller. This is how I became a bestseller. What we
I
don't look
love
like what
that.
we've been through. So it's phenomenal women in here that tells their story, and it's on Amazon. And it's with a community called When Women Empower. It's an awesome group of over 50 women. And ever since I've been a part of this community, I have been thriving. It has pushed me out of my comfort zone. It's the reason why I started my podcast. It's the reason why I'm on here speaking to you guys. It kind of pushed me
Yes.
out there, because when you get into a community and you're around like-minded people, it kind of pushes you to oh, I want to do that too. It gets you excited and motivated. And this last book, our everyday heroes, I dedicated this chapter to, I call her my God sent mom. She's not my biological mom. Well, she is my mom because she is my mom. But she
Yes,
did not
that's
have
right.
me by she didn't have me, but she is my mom. She is my hero, and I dedicated this chapter to her, just letting her know how much I appreciate her and how much she instilled in me, and I am who I am today because of her. So that's all I have.
That's all
It-
you have. First of all, you everything that you shared, let me tell you right now, you are a powerhouse. For those of you that
Thank
tuned in
you.
a little bit later in the live, this is Romika Temple, who is an entrepreneur, speaker, wellness coach, hair cosmetologist, podcast host, CEO, entrepreneur,
Yeah.
and you definitely helping women to elevate their mindset. You're
Yeah,
building generational wealth. You're
yeah,
embodying wellness from the inside and out.
yeah,
And you have so many impactful platforms and programs. And not only that, you're also empowering other people to break cycles, own
yes,
their stories, and step boldly into their purpose. So,
yes,
first of all, we got to tell the people where to follow you for everything. We need the tickets for the event in August. Like, we want to know all
yes.
of the tea. Okay. We can't wait for tea time. We got to know the tea today.
Yes, I need y'all to be in the room. Tea is so phenomenal. And this year we have three speakers. They are so awesome and they're really going to pour into you. I really prayed. I really wanted to have speakers that really can pour into the community, because a lot of times when we go
Yes.
to these events, we just leave out the way that we came. And I really want you to
Mm-hmm.
leave out just being ignited, transform. I need that mind to like shift like immediately, right? So you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Romika Temple. My podcast
Romika
on
Temple.
Instagram is Let's Talk Motivation with Mommy's Tea Time. What else? Oh, on
When is the
Instagram.
podcast?
Oh, the podcasts are every Monday at
Mm-hmm.
9 a.m. We're on
Okay.
all platforms, every last platform. Apple,
Okay.
Spotify, any podcast platform you can think of. I'm on there. I'm on YouTube also under Mommy's Tea Time. Let's talk with motivation with Mommy's Tea Time. What's Oh, in my bio on Instagram, you can click on my LinkedIn and that will take you to everything. You can get your tickets. You can get it off of Square, PayPal, or Cash App. And I can send you the information. You can share with your audience. But yeah, I would love you guys to be there in the room. It's going to be exciting. And it's going to be a bunch of moms there and women there that are like minded. Bring your business cards, bring your samples, whatever, because we are networking and we are talking about our businesses there.
What's the name of the place you said it's going to be at again?
It's called Valori's Lakeside.
Valori's
Yeah,
Lakeside.
Villari, I believe, Lakeside. And it's in Sicklerville. And we're going to be on a patio, lake view. It's going to be beautiful. And
First
it's
of
a brunch.
all,
Mm,
Valori's Lakeside.
yeah.
Lakeside, New Jersey.
It's in Sicklerville, New Jersey.
Oh, I see it now.
You see it? Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place. The food is really
Valori's.
good. And we're going to have a good time, an awesome time. And
That's
you're going to
right.
leave there saying, I am the T. I am transformed, I am empowered, and I'm affirming every aspect of my life.
I know that's right.
Yes. So I'm excited. I'm
So
so
what time?
excited.
What time is the tea time?
I'm sorry. It is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And
11
if we go
a.m.
over, it's okay. And we're going to
to
have swag bags, giveaway, little our little mommy tea time bingo game. Everybody gets excited about that. Like we win
All
in
right, cool. I just
thousands
want
of
to see how
thousands.
far it was from my house. I'm gonna come. That's why I was trying to get the address. I'm like, let me see how far this thing is.
No. Yes, come.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be in the room.
Yes.
Coach Shana and Lakeisha said, thank you for sharing your powerful story. Yes, we definitely thank you. Each and every person that's on this live, we thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being authentically you and sharing all your goodness. If you have not followed her already, please make sure you go on Instagram and you follow Ramika L. Temple on
Yes.
Instagram and click that link tree.
Yes.
Okay, because it's going to have the links for your edge control, for the
Yes.
books, for your hair growth oil,
Yes.
for the tea
Yes.
time, and for your tickets. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
She is a
Yes.
powerhouse. I thank you so much for coming on, and we both are connecting with moms virtually in such a powerful way, and we definitely I would love to talk about a partnership with you as well. Because
Absolutely.
you are definitely powerful.
Thank
DM
you.
Serenity Nail Polish to schedule a consultation. Follow
Yes.
Mastering Our Business. Shout out to them. There's so many different things that Romika mentioned on live that we spoke about before that you may need help with, whether it is your marketing, your branding, not rushing the process and putting something out of quality that people love, they talk about. And like you said, it can take just one video. And boom, sales are kicking in. So make sure that you scan, you follow them to learn more, and be sure to continue to follow Serenity Nail Polish and schedule your sign up for your newsletters so that you can hear about all of the amazing events that we have coming up in store. We thank you for joining us, and until next Monday, be blessed, everyone. Have a great week.